This podcast is called Low Frequency, because that's where we at. We below industry, below media, below politics, and we talk about all of it. This is an open space, not for the closed mind. Keep that in mind. I got my boy here with me. Pause. Got my boy here with me.
What up, y'all? It's your boy, man, prezzz. You heard it. Follow your boy on Instagram, prezzz. Snapchat, all that. Catch me, tune in. Lifestyle, just living, you heard.
Now y'all niggas probably hear, ladies and gentlemen, y'all probably hear the accent in my boy's voice, so you know he's southern and all of that. So
I hear the southern shit.
So you know, tell me a little bit about like you obviously came from down south.
Oh yeah, facts. I used to live out there too.
Right.
So it was in Decatur at first when I first was out there. Then
Decatur, shout out Decatur.
Then DeKalb County too. You heard DeKalb County.
You like that shit? Like some people, like I've spoken to mad southern people before, and like I feel like every time I speak to them, they have like a more of a chillax vibe. Like they feel like out here is more like rushed and shit.
Because it's a lot out here. Because if you go down south, it's more like really like the suburbs. There ain't shit out there. It's more like land than there is buildings and shit. They just now want to build and shit.
Oh yeah, like city kind of shit.
Yeah, like they getting city now. Before, no, none of that. It's like right now, if we used to go out there and take a trip, you'll see a lot of stuff being built now. And you'll just see so much land, and you'll be like, yo, why you just now building? So just think about, imagine how many trees and shit were there before they started building. You know what I mean? So it's really mainly trees and shit out there, open space. You feel me? It's nice and quiet. Before we came back though, me and the family, we was in Dallas though. Dallas, Georgia, nice. Oh my gosh, nice.
Yeah.
Not to be racist or nothing, but you know, all Caucasian white people. Oh my gosh, houses are beautiful, bro.
Shit you never seen before.
Shit that make a nigga be like, yo, that's the Airbnb.
Yo, and it's probably people coming from like other spots because I'm hearing that it's like easier to own shit out there, right?
Yeah, it's
so
cheaper too.
There'll be people that come out from out here to go down there and shit, or go up there, whatever the fuck, and buy some shit and then rent it out and make mad fucking bread and shit, bro.
Bro, I'm telling you, like right now, rent out there for like a 3-bedroom house. No cap. House. We not talking about
like house with a backyard and all that extra.
You'll be paying close to like $700-800, maybe a band.
That's crazy.
House.
Coming from New York City. That's fucking crazy, son. That's fucking crazy.
It is no rap in that rap. You can go look it up on Truvilla, Zillow, and all the houses. Shit. You go look it up. That shit is true. Not even just apartments, houses too. Shit cheap.
Does it also accommodate for? Because like I was thinking about that type of shit too. Because like places that's like more cheap and places that have like more affordable housing and shit like that. I was thinking like, does that shit also like it may be cheaper to live in a crib, but it also you'll be also spending more money like as far as like travel. Like you gotta pay for your like over here you could in New York City you could travel on a bus, you could travel on a train and shit like that for free technically. Like you could hop the train, you could hop the bus and go where you going for free. Over there's none of that necessarily. Like you gotta have a car, so then you'll start having to pay. You'll start having to pay for like fucking gas. You'll start having to pay toll booths and shit.
There's trains and shit out there. There's trains and buses, but they only run into certain places. Like no cap.
So y'all have to make your shit fit that route type shit.
Yeah, or you gotta find your way around it, or you can hit the cab and you know Uber and shit. You already there.
Oh, Uber popping out there?
Yeah, Uber out there too, and Lyft.
How's the Because I know they'll fucking charge an arm with a leg for that shit out here. So how's the Uber and shit out there? Like, is the prices still the same? I can ask you because you've been on both sides. You know how shit look on the side.
I mean, coming from out there, Uber, I ain't really take too much because you know I got my own V. You know I drive, so I got my own car, bro.
But I know you hear about the prices and shit.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably say it's a little bit cheaper only because, like I said, you don't have to deal with so much traffic. But there's traffic. Don't get me wrong, there's traffic, but you don't have to deal with it like New York traffic. You know, the little streets, the side streets. They ain't really no little side streets. You can be gone most times. Yeah, you should be gone most times. So it'd probably be a little bit cheaper, probably like $1 less, $2 less.
And over here they'll take the illest routes to make you go fucking mad far. Like
Just to
you be
get
like,
that back.
yeah, like you be like, yo, take me to the Bronx or somewhere the fuck.
They'll take the opposite of the highway. Like,
Crazy.
what the fuck is
You in the
doing,
car
bro?
for an hour now. And you like, yo, what the fuck? When I take the train, I get there in like 20 minutes. What the fuck? They like, oh, it's traffic. I got to take this route or whatever.
You lying sometimes too. They just trying to get that bread.
So you just came from out there, Dallas and shit. How was like people here, like the courts and shit? Is everything like moving, starting to clear up? People coming outside and shit.
I mean, it was getting packed, but then all that rioting and stuff was happening. All the Black Lives Matter people out there.
Did you see anything? Like
Yeah.
riots and shit?
Yeah, actually, they was breaking into stores next to our store. Like they was breaking into the auto parts store. They was breaking into Publix. They was breaking into mad stuff, but it was like, oh wow, like.
I remember thinking when I was seeing the riot videos and shit, thinking like, yo, these guys is crazy. Right? Thinking that, and then now when I'm looking back at the riot videos and shit, seeing people steal shit, I'm like, god damn, like, some of these people got away with some shit, yo.
Some shit. And it
Some
was like,
shit,
not
too.
to be,
It's like,
not to be rude, but young nigga wish I was a part of this.
yeah, bro, because like some of them, like I'm talking about the jewelry spots and shit like that, like they got away with a nice little bag. And it's like, oh shit, are any of these people facing any kind of shit, or they just good? Like, and I feel like they're good.
I feel like they good too. Why I'm gonna cap on that because you ain't hearing nothing about no more looters or the rioters coming up. We done found this stolen or that stolen. Only because businesses really get that shit back. Yes, they have to pay for it, but during the pandemic right now, you can get that shit back for free if you know insurance. So if you got insurance with your shit, you getting that back for free.
And I heard it was certain stores and shit that was orchestrated riots so they can claim insurance, like on some insurance fraud shit. Like how they did with the mob back in the day, like they had their shit fucked up and then they just claim like they shit got broken into, stolen shit, theft, you know. And then they just get their shit back.
You get the bag off that insurance shit, bro.
Especially if you pay somebody to go into your shit and then rob your shit, like what? You could just pay whoever a small percentage, they not taking too much, and then you about to double that back.
Right,
The insurance
right
fraud.
back. So it's not even like a wait. Definitely everything going on right now in this time. Like it's easier to get majority of the stuff that they think about because it's not to say like all cops are bad, but majority of cops are bad. Not all of them, but majority.
It seems like it's way more negative videos and stories of cop interactions than positive ones.
Yeah, and that's
And
what
it's
the
not-
media puts out though. So if anything, if you want to blame and point fingers, it would be basically at the media or whatever's going on in the media or who's trying to show it off, that type of
Because
thing.
it's not to say that like it ain't no good cops, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of like good cop interactions, but the thing is like who's gonna record a cop doing some shit that's good? Like they not gonna sit out there and pull out their phone like, oh, this is amazing. People don't necessarily post amazing things like nowadays.
Yeah, I done seen a couple positive videos on Instagram where they be playing ball. Like,
Yeah,
that's watching like Sports Center and different type of certain things. You don't just see
Or
that
a few cops in the Black Lives Matter protests and shit.
You feel me?
Like
You don't
that.
see this regular on your newsfeed. What you see regular on the newsfeed is I can say the downgrade of the police system or what's going on in the police system in a negative way. We don't show positive because it's like, why even trust them? You feel me? After everything we done been through ourselves, not ourselves, but like as the black community, what we've been through, it's like, oh wow. So how can we even care or even worry about what they're doing to us if this is what they've been doing? That's still our people. Like, how can you treat us like this and we don't treat none of y'all this way?
Yo, I fucking feel that, yo, because it's like cops been around for how long? Cops been around for a while, right? And so I guess it's safe to say that there's been a lot of stories of cops doing shit that was good. There's been a lot of stories of that coverage of it happening, right? So the second that, like in a time like now, the second that you come out and say some good shit about a cop, it overshadows the bad shit that they're doing right now. Like, if one of us was to make a video like, oh, you know, Blue Lives Matter or whatever, fucking like really talking up for the cops, it's like, yo, and the cops that's doing negative things, they now have a way to be like, yo, look at this guy. He understands that it's more good cops happening. It's more like it's hard. It's a harder job. That gives them the right to be like, oh, look, see, it is harder. It's not that easy to be a cop and shit like that, which we all know. But it's like, to say that and to also to give them that credibility, it also overshadows the negative thing about it. Like how Chris Rock was talking about, like how you can't just have some good pilots and some bad pilots. Like it gotta be all good. Like you can't fucking be like, oh yeah, some of our pilots is good, you know. We got a few bad apples that crash every now and then. It's like, what the fuck? You don't need that. Who the fuck is gonna invest in that? Who's gonna fly in that fucking airline?
So how you gonna make your money with that pilot? You know what I mean? So it's like, that's how this shit. So when I hear like the defund the police, I understand it to an extent. Only extent I understand is like, if the whole department had knowledge of to what's going on and what they did that day, you feel me, and do nothing about it, then I feel like, okay, well, defund the police needs to happen. But if it's like, okay, 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 of them already knew what was going on, but the chief or someone higher up didn't really know, then boom, it shouldn't be the whole department getting under fire.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you can't defund them. You gotta reform them. That's what it's more about. It's not defund them because the issue isn't money. The issue isn't money because if anything, you need more money because they need to have more training. Like they need more money to put more cops with vigorous things before they can be certified. It's not
before
so much
like extra force. Like you don't have to go hard all the time. Even, like first of all, you're wearing bulletproof vests. You have this whole fake utility belt that's like a whole weapon build on your waist, like GTA shit. Like, come on, like you should know. Okay, well, let me not pick up the gun. Let me go for the taser first. You feel me? Like
I was watching this show, right? And it's about this guy that's a cartoonist, right? And he was like a guy that's doing like regular shit, sketch cartoon shit that, and he started getting a name for himself and shit like that. And people started fucking with him, right? So, but people started fucking with the cartoon. They didn't really know who was the guy behind the cartoon. He was a black guy, right? And he started coming up with this idea like, yo, maybe I should do a show to get people to know like it's a black guy behind the shit, because most of his audience is white, so he wanted to like let them know like, yo, it's me behind this shit, not just some regular guy. He had sort of whitish name, sort of, right? So he's posting up posters all over where he live at, right? He's posting posters all over where he live at and shit like that. And he's posting one at it seems like it's like a square, like a Union Square, like how 14th Street look. It looked like it's like that, and he's like posting up a poster. He's stapling the shit onto the board, right? Before he finishes stapling it, cop comes, knocks him down. A whole bunch of cops beat the shit out of him. Right there, in front of everybody, beat the shit out of him. His mans was there, not far away from him, like helping him post shit up and shit. And he saw the cops beating him up. He run over there, he like, yo, stop. He's pushing the cops and shit. His friend is white. And he's pushing the cops and shit, getting in their face, like, yo, what the fuck y'all doing and shit? While he getting beat up, he's looking up at his friend do all this shit. And he's like, yo, like, that shit is crazy. Like, what the fuck? And it's like, later on, he finds out that the cops want him to, like, issue, like, a statement or some shit, because, like, he started making his comedy about, not his comedy, he started making, like, his cartoons and shit.
Skits and shit.
Yeah, he started making them shits about that event that happened. And it's like, with the cops beating him up and shit. And it's crazy because the nigga got sued. The cop that tackled him first felt like it was defamation of character, because now his kid thinks that he's like a violent person because of these cartoons that this guy is putting out. And it's like, yo, son that got pushed on the ground, he's like, yo, what the fuck? How the fuck am I getting sued for some shit that the cops did to me? That's crazy. And then he had to meet up with the cop that did it to him and shit like that, and the cop wanted him to say sorry and do this whole public thing to make it seem like everything was okay and shit. And the cop was like, come on, man, like just say sorry so everybody can be alright and shit like that. And he's like, yo, this is crazy. Like, just to embody all of that. Yeah, of course, bro. But like, just to embody all of that as a person, it's like, that's insane, bro. That's insane. And like, that's some shit that any black person living in America could go through. Any black person. And it's like, it won't half the time, most of the time, all the time, if not none, doesn't even get to that situation to where the cop is like publicly having to say sorry and some shit like that. It never necessarily gets to that point. It's
even
always
after they do bad shit, they don't come out and say sorry or I apologize for the situation.
It happened, that's it. Even if it, mind you, I forgot this part of the story. After they was beating him up and shit like that, they get up and they like, oh shit, my fault, we got the wrong guy. And then they just left something. And he get up and he wiping his shit off and shit. His man's like, yo, you good? And shit. But it's like, yo, what the fuck?
No way, bro. I probably would have died, bro.
Just off of some, oh, we got the wrong guy?
I'd have been beating their ass, bro. No cap, I'm sorry, but I can't go through that situation with no cop and feel like, oh, everything is cool. I'm gonna have to lose my life, you feel me? Because it's like, to an extent, they do too much, bro. That excessive force, bro, it's not needed. Definitely with all the weapons you do have on yourself, from the mace to the fucking stun gun, you don't need to be putting no headlock on nobody, roughing niggas up.
Especially all of the cases where it comes down to like when you look at the cop that did it and then the victim or whatever. These people be half quarter of these cops' sizes.
Yeah.
It's like, in what part in this situation did you feel threatened that you had to pull out the blicky? Like, what? It's like, some of the times it be kids. And it's like, what the fuck? How? In those situations, it's like, yo, you can't be forgiven in those situations. Because it's like, what the fuck, son?
Who gave niggas the okay to start putting people in chokeholds?
I think that's a part of protocol or some shit. Like,
how though?
When they think they resisting or some shit. I don't know.
That putting your hands on a person's neck or anywhere but their hands, besides their body, unless they doing something
without
extra,
having the proper training or the proper education of their medical background. Even in wrestling or any other kind of physical sport or physical altercation where
can't put your hands on nobody's neck.
even when that is allowed, both the opponents know each other's medical background. They know, like, oh, son can't take this, son can't take this, we can't do this, we can't do that, in order for it to be a fair fight. You get what I mean? So it's like, if they do that in those regulations, how does that not come into play when a cop is interacting with a civilian that has nothing to do with anything?
You feel me? And that's what I mean. Like, so, and then what gets me mind-boggling is like the fact they allow that shit to happen, and it be all cool after niggas kill them. It's like, oh, everything's good. You know, he just made a mistake. We gonna send him away, paid leave though. You feel me? We can't just not pay him. You feel me? Like, what do you mean not pay him? This man did not just kill somebody on camera. Oh, it's okay. He can still get money for killing people. So what you're telling me is, behind the badge, a nigga can kill somebody and be okay. But if he don't have no badge and he kills somebody, it's not okay. He go to jail or he get life. So now, what if this was a black cop that was doing all of this? You feel me?
I don't know how many like situations there is of like black cops doing things. That's a good question. That's a good question. Because it seems like it's always like a race thing. But it's like, and if it's not a race thing and it's really like a cop being scared for his life, how come it's always a white cop shooting someone that's not of their own complexion on some mistake shit? Or why is it not another ethnicity cop making a mistake? Why is it always white cops making mistakes? That's kind of odd.
And what's funny is, bro, as you say that, I see a lot of videos of white on white crime. You know how many times I've seen a white civilian pull a knife out or a gun out on a white cop, and all they did was point their guns at him and told him to put it down as he rushed towards them.
They got that video.
They done nothing. But a black man running away from the cops, you pull out
That's the biggest
gun
threat ever.
and you shoot him.
That's the biggest threat ever. And that's crazy, right? It was that video that was going around the internet one time where it was a white kid, and this was recently too. White kid walking around with like a military grade weapon. Some AR shit, some AK shit, some shit that could lay a few people down. And he's walking right past the cops with it. Somebody recorded something walking right past the cops with it. And the cops didn't even like care. It seemed like they could have saw him and they just didn't care. So that's like how it was.
Black, they running down, making sure you got your permit, that you had that. Not
Just walking with that shit out. Regular day. And it's like, what the fuck? That's crazy.
I don't know, bro. I gave up on the system. This system is not the right system. We fucked during that time. That time period, we fucked, y'all. Y'all need to stay safe, man. Watch out for the feds, man. Don't trust no fed talk.
Speaking of fed talk, speaking of trusting the cops, speaking of cooperating, motherfucking Rat Boy 6ix9ine. Rat Boy 6ix9ine, man. I fucking knew it. Once he came out of jail and he was talking crazy. He was talking crazy like, hey, I can't be stopped. He was talking crazy. And yo, bro, I knew it, bro. I knew it. I knew it was a matter of time. And I was like, yo, he gonna have to do something insane to get people's attention, or he gonna flop. And that's what we seeing right now. His fucking shit.
Attention.
This shit was projected to do 150, and now it's at 50, and now I'm hearing talks that it's at 30. Oh my god.
Damn.
I think that's the fastest flop we've ever seen in hip hop history.
He just so disrespectful, damn you, and that ass nigga. Okay? He ain't 6'9", he dead you.
That's fucking insane, yo. And he, you know, like, he was doing a lot. And I was speaking to somebody that told me, like, yo, if he just projected his, like, energy at a different light, he could have been successful. Like, instead of trolling and, like, talking crazy to people and shit like that, if he was more, like, playful and more, like, energetic and, like, more, like, towards, like, he just wanted to live his life and shit like that, he could have been real successful.
He wouldn't be canceled.
Yeah. And people would have gravitated towards that more, because like he does have good visuals as far as like colors and shit like that. He knows how to do that shit, but it's like the context, the image, the visual, everything that you're sending,
Shit you doing.
everything that he's sending out and putting out to the public is like the opposite of like who he is at his core. And it's like that's always gonna eat you up inside. If you can't look in the mirror and dance to your music and shit like that and really fuck with it, that shit gonna eat you up no matter how much people telling you that shit is funny.
That nigga, damn, well, I can't even talk about that rat ass nigga, man. He just
Had to bring that up.
He not built for the streets, man. At all. Disrespecting my nigga Nipsey. RP my nigga Nip, you heard? Disrespectful ass name.
He went to Dirtman's
Old block. How you go to old block and be disrespectful? Somebody need to put that nigga in the casket. Put that nigga in the coffin, you heard? Put him in the coffin.
Kylie, like him and Kylie was flirting and that got Meg tight. Yeah, that's what I was hearing. And it's like, even if all of that shit happened,
Still, they not even a couple. Like, what gave you the balls, nigga? The balls to just pull a trigger and hit the beautiful feet. First of all, she shot out the nigga. Shorty did her thing in 2 weeks after the shooting of that wet ass.
she flipped that shit in a way that was crazy, capitalized, and she didn't want to snitch. Him doing that fucking text message and shit like that, that shit makes her video when she came out on Instagram, that shit makes her shit even more validated. Like she was saying like, yo, you a funny nigga, like I didn't wanna get you in trouble, like, you know, like I didn't want to get you in trouble.
Stop writing me talking that fuck shit. They was talking that fuck shit too. I'm pretty sure a bitch like her, not bitch, excuse my language, a bad bitch like her would not want to just snitch on no nigga just for no clout. Like, first of all, not to throw Tory under the bus or no shade, Megan was coming up. She was going to surpass Tory Lanez. So it was like,
it was a matter of time.
Yeah, it was just a matter of time, really. So it's like, bro, you just fucked up a good shot with someone real good, like Moneybagg Yo. I'm sorry, Money. You should have been with Megan Thee Stallion.
Oh, okay. Like, and Tory fucked up his bag right at a crazy time. Like, he had the Instagram live
Quarantine. That was my shit. And then what's crazy is one of the bitches he had touring on his Quarantine radio. I knew one of them. Like that shit was crazy. Like I see her twerking, I was like, oh shit.
That's how you giving it up.
Yo, word. Like, and no disrespect to my wife or my kids or nothing. I ain't text her no hell up. I was just like, just from watching it, I was like, yo, what the fuck? Like, bitches is out here twerking for the gram just to be famous. Like, get that little 5-10 minutes of fame, shaking that ass. Like, yeah, shaking that ass, shaking that ass, shaking that ass, shaking that ass. Like, damn. And I was like, yo, I can't believe it.
Quarantine.
Hell yeah, Quarantine.
He really had that shit popping, and now that shit is done. You think somebody else gonna do that shit? Just because they saw it was such a revenue for it? It could have been something.
Nobody else can pull what Tory pulled. Like, Tory was Tory during Quarantine radio. The shit, actually. Like, niggas needed a pimple on that kid. Like, it was real right.
He had fucking, like, TV streaming numbers on that shit.
Yeah, like, now we ain't saying he broke the YouTube record or nothing like that, but the principle is he done did a lot.
That's like it's all down to Drake.
Facts.
That's like it's all down to Drake. And I was thinking about that shit too. Like recently, like yo, because I was watching Academics, he was talking about how he don't think Tory is done. Like people were saying like Tory is finished and shit. He don't think Tory's done. Like he was like, there's instances where niggas did shit and then just came back. Like he's like he feel like it's gonna be some event or some shit. Like time is gonna go by, some event is gonna happen, and then Tory's just gonna be there, and it's just gonna be like Tory back in the industry.
I'm sorry, no, bro. That's not something that you could just look past. I can't look past that. Can you look past that? If somebody just shot someone upcoming, a female rapper at that, not even a male rapper, a female rapper up and coming, doing her thing, you feel me? She ain't no mediocre. She doing her thing. She was giving Freestyle Friday on her Instagram. She doing her thing. And it comes after because she wanted to leave. The real stuff, she wanted to leave. You didn't want her to leave, so you shoot her?
And I was thinking like, yo, it would have been so much better for him. And like, this is not to defend him, because like, fuck him at this point. But it's like, it would have been such a different stance on it if he would have came out and was like, yo, I wasn't aiming for you, or you know, I was I was shooting and I didn't mean to shoot at you.
Not even that. Put the gun on safety, and if no safety, you could have just been flashing it with your hand off the trigger, just on the gun. Like, yo, stop playing with me. Where you think you going? Like, you feel me? I know niggas play like that with their females. You feel me? Like hood niggas or roughhead niggas, roughneck niggas. That's what some niggas do. Not to say that it's a good thing. It's a trend, like, but it's something that do happen. You feel me? Because women are fascinated by guns. Some women are fascinated by guns. So it's like, yo, stop playing with me. Where you think you going? Some bitch is like, ooh, that turned me on. You feel me? That gets some bitches wet. You feel me? But it's like, in that type of time, so drunk, he didn't know what he was doing, and he pulled the trigger, which was a dumb move, and now he's canceled. Tory's canceled. I don't give a fuck. Fuck Tory Lanez. You out here shooting bitches. You know, I don't hear you doing no gangster shit, but you shooting women. You're not a gangster. Stop it.
That's the first, like, that's got to be really tarnishing on his career. That's the first thing that people are going to recognize when they think about anything with him revolving guns.
Oh, Tory Lanez? Oh, yeah. All he did was shoot this girl. He ain't no gangster.
Like, even if he did do a whole bunch of gangster shit after this, it still starts from what happened here.
You shot a girl, nigga. That was your recognition, nigga. Like, come on. Like, that can't be us, nigga. You can't use that as points, nigga. Oh, yeah, I shot that bitch on her feet.
She was talking crazy. So, you know?
I had the pistol shoot on her feet.
Like, which way does that...
She
how can you
She
cut?
can't go nowhere.
who can you tell that to? Not even who, but like, how can you even put that to make it sound like if it was some shit that you had to do and you know you just being real about it? There's no way you can word that.
Yeah, like, bruh, if any of my bros was to come to me like, yo, bro, I just shot my girl in the foot for trying to leave me, bro. She was getting crazy. What, nigga? You just did what? Nigga? You just pulled up on me? Nigga, you did a mistake. You need to go home, bro. Like, bro, no, that's not cool, bro. That shit, bro, you get no points for that, bro. I'm telling you, like, there's no way in hell that you even think that shit lyrically okay. Like, it's not okay. Like, not even to pull a gun out on your homies. Like, it's not okay. That shit really, to me personally, a gun is only for you feel threatened or you need some type of safety for your family. You're not home and the kids and wife at home by themselves. I just feel walking around with it just to have it, show up for the gang. That's not some shit you have for just the gang. Like, oh yeah, I'm showing up because I got that shit. That shit really not it. Like, and I'm a nigga who know that shit because I come from a family where I had guns, you feel me? So it's like, I know what comes with that gun life, you feel me? And it's like,
and growing up in Wagner, bro,
yeah,
both
like,
of us seen that shit. Like, that shit don't. It's like you was talking about. Like, it's a lot of temptation that's around it. Like, everything that happens before getting involved with that type of shit, it's arousing. Like, it makes you feel like, oh, that's cool, or oh, I think I can move around that type of shit. I think I would be violent with that shit. Once you get involved with that shit, most people feel like they overwhelmed. They in too deep. They like, they start second guessing shit. That's why they made that fucking movie with Boys in the Hood, where Doughboy was like, yo, let me out. Yo, let me out. That's why they got that moment. Cause like even a nigga that's from the hood that you would think would be ready to pull a trigger, you would think, and it has the right reasons, like it has the right reasons behind it that you would think. And it's like even someone like that, in that moment, you have that second thought, like, yo, you know what? I'm not really like this. Like, this is not the type of life I want to live. And that's not to say that that's like, oh, this nigga's pussy now. That's not to say that that's what it is. It becomes, you can really get fucked up when you have that thought and you know that you're not about that and you still try to continue. Or you try to keep up a front, like you try to start putting up an image, like, yo, this is me.
That day, you?
This is me. This is what I can do and shit like that. Once you start doing shit like that, then that's when you start to disengage from who you are. And that's really what's worse in the long run. Like when you lose everybody, because that's going to happen regardless, right? You're going to lose everybody. But even when you do lose everybody, sometimes at least you still feel comfortable in your own skin. When you don't have that self-centeredness and you still feel like, yo, I'm not even, who am I really? And you don't even have nobody around you, God forbid, that could lead to people killing themselves. That could lead to crazy fucking situations. And it's like, what the fuck, man? And some people, when they look at it black and white, it's like, yo, he just made this mistake. Or he just made this mistake. And if they would have did it this way, it's like, what the fuck, this person was
I actually think it was wrong. Personally, like, that story, this nigga was wrong. Let's just face it, he's wrong. There's no way, like, you could possibly spit those bars and tell anybody, like, you shot a female. Like, we don't care where you shot her, bro. It don't work. You feel me? It don't work.
Answer me. I wanted you to take the macaroni out the oven.
You was calling me?
Yes.
Oh shit, nah, I was keep the kept recording.
Nigga with the golden hair. Trump.
like, you think he gonna win?
Again? Yeah?
He gonna win again?
I think he gonna win again.
Me too.
I'm sorry, but I think Trump got another re-election coming.
I think
Only
he'll win again.
reason being Prezz's standpoint. I'm saying I fucks with Trump, but he do have a lot of good things going on. Sadly to fucking say. And it's sad to say because he's actually one of the, I'm not gonna say greatest, but one of the best presidents we had thus far. For me, not to sidetrack my nigga
And-
Obama, but
In our lifetime, we can say.
yes, in our lifetime, we being 25, I be 26. Trump is the only president that actually been caring about every minority. Actually, not even just his own minority. Every minority he cares about, and he makes that statement. Like even with the building a wall, the deportation, and he's just trying to bring world order, which he has the right to do. Actually, he do.
Yeah, man.
It
Like-
makes sense because he wants all his Americans to have a job, which makes sense, and I don't see nothing wrong. And don't get me wrong because I'm an African American talking about Trump. Oh, maybe he's talking about Trump because he gave you a stimulus package. Let's rewind. Let's say fuck the stimulus, bro. Let's say if he ain't give it to us, right? You feel me? Still, Trump already tackled half of the sex trafficking that been going on and have been going on for a while. Since he's been in office, he cut down half of their production. So can you tell me how is that not good? We talking about the young kids, the older kids, adults, anything, but the kids. That's what we really getting at. The fact that he cut it.
And not to mention, he made it from the average black American to get locked up was every 1 in 4. And he made it from every 1 in 4 to 1 in 3. It's not the biggest change, but it is a change.
1 to 4 to 1 to 3. That's bigger than Obama. What you talking about? I hear a lot of niggas, oh, Obama this, Obama that. Yeah, Obama what? What did he really success while he was in office? What did he do?
He really helped out a lot of the gay community.
Exactly.
Like,
He focused on one group. Not to say there's nothing wrong with the LGBTQ.
yeah,
See,
there was a lot of
community.
problems there that needed to be addressed.
But you feel me? We all, as a whole, as people, as human beings, we all need the same type of, you feel me, ongoing support. Like not just one community itself. So it's not to say there's nothing downplaying in here, but it could have been like for everyone instead of just making sure, okay, well they're okay, let's make sure they're okay. Like, okay, if we just try to put a standpoint on them, like, oh, I need my, you know, all my community here. You know what I mean? I don't want to use the derogatory language.
Derogatory.
Yeah, that derogatory language.
And like,
Really, but
everything we're saying right now, you could look up. Like these is all genuine and general facts.
yeah,
You
facts.
could look up.
Obama
You could
was
look
different.
it all up. It's just that things get put into the media, and like when he says fake news and shit, like I know it comes off as a joke and people laugh and shit, but that thing is a real thing. Like, there are news outlets, not all of them, but there are news outlets that put out fake news, and not even fake news. They exaggerate things and they take things out of context to make it seem like he said something, or to make it seem like he means something in a certain way. Like when he was talking about putting disinfectant inside of the lungs and shit like that.
Yeah,
He said a certain type of disinfectant UV laser. He said that. Like it's a clip and you can look it up. It's there. He says the shit broad day, clear. He says the shit. And from that, they got, oh, he must mean to put bleach inside the lungs. That's what they got from that. And while he was saying it in the same clip, you can look. He also looks over to the doctor to make sure he's saying the right terminology. And for some reason, people still got to spew because people want to hear certain things from him. they want to believe that like, yo, they don't give a fuck about people. And I was thinking like, if maybe he doesn't look at it like that's a race thing, I don't know how he thinks. He is like an asshole. So I mean, we all have characteristics about us that we don't like each other about.
Yeah.
But
He got characteristics.
also, yeah, of course. But also in the same sense, maybe he doesn't look at it like race. Maybe he looks at it like America is the race that he wants to protect. And whoever's American, that's the person he's fighting for.
That's why make America great again.
And it's like that's why he wants to deport people. Because like, think about it from this perspective. If you have a place that you're supposed to protect and make sure that this place is thriving and it's a good place that people want to come and live, right? If you have that job and other places are thriving more off of you because there's people that come to America, like there's all types of races of people like all over, because apparently America is a place where a whole bunch of people are so thrived on ethnicity. It's all over the place, right? Everybody's from everywhere, right? So there's people that come from all around the world, come to America, and they take advantage of the equal rights opportunities, and they get jobs, they get opportunities from other different places and shit like that, and they take their earnings and profits and bring it back to where they came from. Now, if you take that currency from America and bring it back to somewhere else, in some places, not all, but in some places, America's money, our dollar, is a lot more. It's not. It may not be a lot more, but it is a profit. It's some sort of profit, and it adds up. And if you do that for a generation or two, you'll start to have a change over back at home where you come from. And that's what a lot of people do. A lot of people come to America and do that and send shit back so they can retire when they get older, go back to their homeland and live a good, loving life. Now, if you're in charge of making sure that shit like that, that's like almost like mall cops inside these big ass malls where people come in, steal shit to sell the shit back out for more shit outside. Like you go inside Foot Locker, you steal a good pair of sneakers, you bring the shit back outside, you sell the shit for more. You're getting a lot more profit. You think the people that own Foot Action is liking that? They obviously don't like that. And you can't, and obviously if you get caught, you're gonna be like, oh, these some bitch ass niggas, they caught me, they fucked up my money. But obviously, like in the grand scheme of things, you fucking up the money of the entirety of the whole shit. The more times you do that, what happens when Foot Locker closed down? Because now they don't have any more good sneakers. You take that on the grand scheme of things. That's America, and people are taking things out and making other places great. And now America starts to see the fucking downfall from it. And after a while, we're not gonna have shit.
Yeah, everybody want to blame the president. It's the president's fault. No one sees the bigger picture, bro.
Like, this nigga's obviously not the best person in the world. Like, he say mad shit, that's fucked up. He say mad shit, that's fucked up. But give me a president that never said anything that was never fucked up. Like, everybody fucks up. We all human. A president's job is a crazy fucking job. It's a crazy job. That's like being a cop. That's like you the cop for America. Like, you the sheriff of America. Like, you're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna make mistakes. It's impossible to do the job without making mistakes. And fucking up some people's feelings. It's impossible. But in the same sense, he's probably the only one for a long time that has gotten us out of debt in certain situations, has gotten us to not owe people shit in certain situations. So it's like, as a business standpoint of it, that's, if you're gonna look at it in black and white, you have to notice that. You have to notice that. That's why he won the last election. Because like people think it's like, oh, it's all the racist people coming together. It's not that many racist people nowadays. Like, yeah, there's racism out here, and that shit exists. But if they was to gather up, and the people that's not racist was to gather up, we'll outweigh them so much. So they don't have that much power. They don't have exactly as much power as people think they do have. They just have the ability of freedom of speech. They can say things, and the shit that they say and the shit that they do does cause attention, because it's fucked up shit that a normal person wouldn't do. So it's fucked up. So of course it gets attention and makes it seem like they got power and shit. But they don't really got power and shit. Like, on a day-to-day basis, it's like, it's instances of racism. If racism was so fucking big and it was like crazy like that, then it'll be normal. then it wouldn't be considered racism. It'll be just Monday or Tuesday.
Exactly, and then they just be like, oh damn, we just dealing with this another day.
But the fact that it's not that big, that's why when something happens, it becomes a big thing. Like, oh, this so-and-so was racist to me. It's like, what the fuck? And then it can become a big thing depending on the situation and the context.
Very dependent on the situation. But that context, that word of mouth, it come out different than the next nigga telling you what's going on. Like, yeah, we are all ears.
Got real political real quick. You know, I have to do that, but you know how this shit is, man.
I understand, bro. Yeah. Who you got winning the playoffs this year?
Yo,
The whole thing.
speaking of playoffs, to answer that question. Speaking of playoffs, I heard that somebody was going to Golden State. Are they looking at something for Golden State?
Who was the
Giannis.
Oh no, I heard he was gonna go to the Heat, but then they saying that he gonna stay there. That's his word. That's what he gonna sports.
He gonna stay on the Bucks?
Yeah.
I hope he do, man. I think that's what gets him more fans and shit.
That's what's gonna get his publicity because it's a home to where basically he can control his own type of flow.
Like his legacy, right?
Yeah, he can control it himself. He don't need to go nowhere else where a whole team or even there's already a star player that's already building or already gonna build. Like majority of the teams right now in the A has a player that's that nigga on the team. And then you got that second nigga on the team. Then you got that third, okay. They cooking up. So
And I heard that the super team thing is dying out.
that's no more super team, it's duos now. It's double duos. It's a duo thing right now. That's what's the big hot thing right now. Duos. The triple, that's not even in no more. You feel me? Like that was like back then when Bron was on the Heat, you know, Boston big three. There's no big threes no more. Like Spurs and shit. Once people started retiring, like the Hall of Famers, like big men, it was over for big three. It became duos. Once Kawhi Leonard actually left Toronto, that's when the big duos happened. And then AD came to the Lakers, Paul George, Kawhi. And you already had other two like duos. And then, you know, Boston, not Boston, but Brooklyn. They got KD, Kyrie. You know what I mean? So
I think the Bucks are doing good this season, right?
Nah, they got eliminated by the Heat.
They did?
It's the Heat versus Boston, second round, go to the final.
I could have remember I heard a team that was doing really well that I thought was not going to do that well. Was it how's the Timberwolves doing? I remember
They didn't make it.
I remember I was checking on the Timberwolves not too long ago and they was mad young, like the whole squad.
Yeah, they was doing good, but then it just
Shit got traded and shit, like all the niggas that was on there.
some of them niggas on there traded and shit. Like Robert Covington got traded, Carlton Towns was still there.
Oh, okay,
You
okay.
know, D'Lo got traded. That's really the only niggas that I really fucking with on that team. The rest of them niggas is really like still there. I know that for sure. Like Carlton Towns. I know Robert Covington, like certain shooters and shit like that. They was on.
How Boston doing?
Boston's in the second round against Miami Heat to go to the final.
I fuck with Boston.
And Denver and them.
But what you call it not playing?
But
Kyrie, you not playing, right?
Kyrie is on Brooklyn
Fucking-
AD.
When did Kyrie leave Boston?
last year.
Yeah. What you call it? Who they traded him for?
Kemba. I mean, like 20 and 2021, I think
Oh, it was a draft pick?
yeah, it's cash. So it was lit. For me to draft, get it.
But Brooklyn didn't make it.
Nah, Brooklyn made it.
You kidding?
Yeah, they made it to the first round and got eliminated.
Jesus Christ. Damn, yo. I'm so disconnected with sports, it's fucking crazy. I don't even know, like. So who's the fucking top team? The Lakers?
You know, number one seed right now, still in the playoffs.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, with the records, like, they got 4 losses and shit like that. I know
they up 3-1. They play tonight, Lakers versus Houston. They play at 8.
Harden still killing?
Oh yeah, Harden killing, but Russell Westbrook is the flop for the team. That's why they lose. They down 3-1, and they gonna lose tonight. They go home, and then we waiting to see out of the Clippers.
I always like Russ, bro. But maybe you think Russ played better by himself?
Yeah, way better.
Because like when he
I think
was,
they all play better by themselves or with another team. Like he plays better with another team, but I don't feel that Harden and Westbrook should have got together again. You feel me? I think they should have just been a super team but with someone else. Like they each had different players.
Chris Paul, right?
And that's what I thought Harden was gonna keep. I thought Harden was gonna keep Chris Paul, but they traded both of them. They traded Harden for Chris Paul. I mean, they traded Westbrook for Paul.
yeah, that wasn't the right move.
It wasn't because my boy Paul was going bananas on him.
They worked the way the type of player Paul is.
Yeah,
the type of player
he
Paul
would have worked
is.
well with Harden, but they wanted, I guess, a high flyer who can get to the rim real fast and go.
That's who
go
Harden
crazy.
is.
No, I'm talking
Like,
about
I know. But it's like
Why would
you
leave
describe
two of
it.
those?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The person you describe it is Harden.
Yeah.
It's like, how did he feel when Russell came to practice? Like, the plays they got to run now is like it's
I mean,
complicated.
he fake height because Russell basically playing like number 2 in there, so he ain't really too hyped for the ball. But when he get it, he just go. Like he's automatic. Once you pass it to him, he's gonna go. If he don't see it, he pass it. So if he see it, he go. You know what I mean? And that's different. Like it could work for their benefit, but it's gonna slow down for them because that's gonna draw more charges on you. That's gonna fuck up your momentum because now that momentum could be shift your way, it can go the other way as quickly as this.
And they gotta be like, teams gotta get used to like you have to already been used to playing like that, right? Like,
Yeah, that's
like
what I'm
your
saying.
whole team. Cause like there's certain teams that's good on that fast break. That's like their
The
shit.
Lakers is one of the best teams in the NBA on fast break.
Yeah, I feel like this nigga Braun perfected that shit. Like the way he know, like
And
any
that's
team I seen him on, he knows exactly how to cut to the basket when it's a fast break. Really fucking like good, bro. I have everybody connected in the same play. Like that's crazy to me.
And that's just from him being in the game so long. He learned so much, and that's why he's my favorite player. Personally, I've just been watching him since high school. The Irish and all the things in there.
When you think he gonna like retire?
If he get a ring this year, I think he'll retire after next season.
How old is he now?
35.
That's still pretty young,
Yeah,
right?
that's what I'm saying. That's still
Who's
good.
the oldest dude in the league right now?
Oh, Vince Carter was, but he gone now. So it's around like Bron. Bron on this now.
That ass.
Vince Carter retiring
How old was he when he retired?
40 piece.
He retired right after 40.
Like 40, then he tried to stay for the bubble shit. Corona started going on, so he couldn't start the new season. He retired.
Yeah. Why risk it? Why
Yeah.
risk it at that? He already was putting in a lot of work.
That's what I'm saying. If Bron win the chip this year, I think he's gonna try to win the chip the next year, back-to-back champions. And then if he don't get the chip that back-to-back champion, he gonna retire. But then he'll be like 37, almost 38. I don't think he gonna play. I don't think he gonna play till 40. He might blow my mind and play till 40. I think he gonna.
He ever talked about that shit?
Nah. I think the last time he talked about this shit, he said he was just gonna play till his body give out.
If he still feel like that, he's looking like he's showing no signs of stopping. So.
At all, cause like 35 and he just be going up on grown man, like no regards for your life when I'm in the head, like, yo, how you moving like that? Like, so fuck that, nigga, you ain't that bad, nigga. Like, you moving too fucking fast, nigga. Like, you fouling him and then he be doing this shit right here.
Yo, the game is really gonna change when he does leave.
Yeah, I think so too. I think the league got some good players coming up.
But the entertainment aspect of it,
Yeah, you
bro.
got Luka.
I didn't hear any water about this guy.
Luka,
Dallas, right?
Yeah, Luka's different. Luka's someone he gonna be entertained to watch. Like
Okay.
coming up, him, Damian Lillard. You feel me?
Yeah.
I feel that's gonna be a great matchup.
My son is a rapper. He's a whole rapper. Outside of that, like I think that's one. Like, and I know other basketball players did it, but like the way he's doing it, it's like he is really trailblazing. Funny, right? But like he really is doing that shit. It makes no sense.
Yeah, everybody
don't stop.
Shaq, fucking Kobe even put out he even put out a little mixtape, Joe. I seen.
Yeah, videos and all that.
Hell yeah, my nigga Kobe was really doing the music thing. Hey, man, he was like, nuts.
Michael did. He did more of like a celebrity
acting.
Yeah, he jumped inside like movies and shit like that.
Yeah,
I think that's more of like where Braun is going too.
Yeah.
He's been in more movies and shit like that.
I think Braun is more or less also like political too, like
he does a lot of activism, bro.
Yeah,
Activism?
He be in a lot of that Black Lives Matter shit. He be focused on that shit too.
He does a lot good,
Open
bro.
in schools and all that good shit. Yeah, he follow more of that type of flow. Like basically you can say Jordan, but he don't do it two-sport thing. He not like that. He's one sport and just focus on politics.
It's like he got so many like layers of like who he is as a person. You could pick one and you could become a fan of that. Because he's giving you so much in each one of those categories that it's enough.
And he's a young entrepreneur. He owns that Blaze Pizza. Man, shout out my man Braun, man. Blaze Pizza, y'all need to go try some of that shit, bro. That shit wave. That shit wave.
You got some?
Hell yeah. That Blaze shit. Shit was all lit there.
Yeah?
Yeah. Nigga was like, going uptown. That shit Blaze. That shit was cool. That's what I think that's some shit. That shit mad good.
Series X came out with the price. Series X waiting on the PS5 price and shit.
PS5, Xbox, 500 piece.
I think that people were saying that the P5 they're gonna try to like undercut the Xbox and try to make the shit like
450.
try to get people to buy that shit. But I don't think it's gonna work.
I got 500 for that.
Yeah, like I don't think it's gonna work. I think like P5 the way I don't like the model. I don't like the way it looks. 15 inches tall, like a fucking tower in the stands. That's fucking huge, bro. 15 inches is fucking huge. I hope that was an exaggeration. 15 inches is huge for a fucking console. And have that as a P5, and then the Xbox, at least they give you two different models for like the main physical one, and then you got the digital one. The P5, the digital, and the standard, they both basically the same shit. Just one of them don't got the disc shit. They both the same shit. They both look exactly the
that's
same.
X. Series S got this shit.
Yeah.
X is this shit.
It's like it make you appreciate them niggas more, man. Because like it just almost gives off the aspect that Sony was lazy. Like, you know, fuck it, just take this shit off of that shit. It's the same. You don't gotta design a whole different shit. It's the same shit.
They should have though.
Like Xbox was like, like Microsoft was like, this is this, and we're gonna give them a digital version, and this is gonna be that. Like that's what that's gonna be. For that, I fuck with them.
I fuck with Xbox.
So, you know what it is? Low frequency. It's been episode 6. Tune in for episode 7. My boy Prezzz stopped by.
Got YouTube feed here.
Got more coming, you know. Hope you guys like what you heard, like what you saw. Comment on the bottom. Some more topics you guys want to hear us talk about and shit like that. Be more shit for you to hear, man. Holla, subscribe, comment, like, share, all of that good shit. And we out this bitch.